everyone, Friendly Studios here. Welcome back to another video. And guys, today, well, you guys can tell by the title alone, guys, welcome to the finale of building Kamino in Lego. Guys, I'm super excited to bring this episode to you all today because of the fact that I am super excited to see what you guys think of the finished Kamino mock. I seriously can't stop saying this, but like, I really am loving how this mock turned out. Guys, as you guys know, the normal situation, basically, huge shout out to our series, or I guess mock in this case, sponsor Minifigs for You. David has generously sent some awesome Kamino style clones and custom clones in general to be used in this mock. They are used perfectly in my opinion, like you guys can see some of them right there. But honestly, huge shout out to David for sending those, as well as if you guys want to check out some or get some of your own custom clones, I highly recommend checking out minifigsforyou.com. I'll leave a link in the description for you. Again, I highly recommend it. The figures on Kamino look fantastic with the added figures from David. So moving on, I do want to point out that the reason why there was a kind of week and a half, 2 week kind of gap between the last episode and this week's episode, and the reason for that is because I didn't really want to make updates that were very minor, as in like if I would have made 2 updates for the past 2 weeks, you guys would have got like, oh, I added a couple waves, or hey, I put that in place, or hey, I made a bridge. It just wouldn't have been exciting, I guess, in that sense. Like, you guys would have, yeah, you guys would have gotten updates, but the updates would have been like less than 5, maybe 6 minutes long, because it was, I spent a lot of time kind of going back and forth redesigning stuff, so we didn't really get as much work until, well, later in the week. So I hope you guys understand that, because of the fact that, you know, mock's done, so you guys get to see the final look of the beautiful creation that is Kamino. Guys, I am super excited to show this to you guys, because honestly, the mock came out great. Huge shout out to all you guys who've been supporting the channel recently, as well as if you guys have been excited to see Kamino, definitely show some love by smashing that like button. So I'm going to stop blabbering and stuff like that. I'm going to show you guys the final mock of Kamino. Let's go right now. And guys, this is what the mock ended up looking like. Guys, I am so freaking happy right now. For those of you who are wondering, I finished the mock, or finished the whole thing, Wednesday night, this past Wednesday. I was in a call with my buddy Jay, and while he was working on his stuff, I was banging out the rest of the mock, and it finished that night. I was so freaking happy, turned off all the lights, turned on all these, and just sat there for almost an hour just admiring the mock. Guys, I am so freaking happy. Huge shout out to all my friends who were able to help me out, or I guess collaborate in the sense of, especially in the sense of sending all these studs. I couldn't have made all of the water without you guys' help, including Noah, Matt, all the other awesome people, including Jay and Aiden, for all their support and stuff like that. I really can't thank you guys enough. If I didn't mention your name and you helped out, you guys know who you are. Huge shout out to you guys. This mock just looks fantastic. I also do want to shout out my boy JBBRICKFANATIC for actually coming down, stacking a bunch of studs with me, even helping that out. So huge shout out to all my friends who were able to help, or at least send a bunch of water my way. So huge shout out to you guys. And huge shout out to everyone who's been watching this series and enjoying the mock is what it is. So I really can't thank you guys enough for the support for this build series. And honestly, I am freaking loving this whole mock, like right now. Like just getting that whole overview look, it's just fantastic in my opinion. I had a huge time, I can't speak. I had a amazing time building this mock. Yes, there were some gaps between certain episodes, but honestly, I'm happy I stuck with it because of the fact that this thing just ends up looking fan-freaking-tastic. Now, this mock, of course, do want to give some facts. This mock, of course, took about 8 months, a little over 8 months to fully build. I started it in the last summer, and of course, I am finishing it now in April. So, did not take a year to build, which is quite exciting in my opinion, because of the fact that, you know, imagining all these water studs and stuff, it was definitely time consuming. For part count, honestly, I lost count because of the fact of all the water studs and whatnot, because just these studs alone, there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of water studs just here alone. So on top of that, you've got all of the different platforms, different pillars and stuff like that that include different pieces, as well as all the different tiles that go into it, as well as you've got the vehicles. You got two Republic gunships and one Vulture droid right here. I do want to point out that I was originally going to put a Separatist or CIS Aqua ship, or Aqua Trident class ship, which is basically the squid looking vehicle that was on Kamino. That was the plan. I was going to have it on that platform, but honestly I felt like it would have taken me a week or two to actually get it fully built and whatnot. As cool as it would have been, I feel like everything else is just fine, and the inclusion of that would have just been, you know, just a little extra bit. But honestly, I love how this thing came out. The lights are of course from Brick Stuff, if you guys were wondering. I'll leave a link in the description below for their website. I use their lights quite frequently, and everything just looks fan-freaking-tastic. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I love all these different scenarios. I'm gonna go around the mock, of course, showing it off. I've got little skirmish right here with the droids. All the blasters mixed with the droids just look fan-freaking-tastic. I do have, of course, the Vulture droid being attacked by the minifigs for you clone troopers right here. As I mentioned when I first received them, that I was planning on putting them in a kind of their little own area, that way it didn't mix with the other phase 1 clones, because as you guys can tell, they are phase 2, so I wanted them to be in their own little spot, so it didn't really clash too well, or, you know, made a little weird next to each other. So honestly, I'm happy with how this looks. I think it's actually pretty cool, especially from that shot right there. You have, you know, them trying to take down the Vulture droid. I actually quite like that pose with the vehicle right there, so honestly I think that's a probably perfect spot. Originally they were going to be on the inside, but honestly I'm completely fine where they are right now. Going down the long bridge, you have that little skirmish right there on the other platform right there. You've got some droids, some phase 1 clones. The battle of course is going on in there, so this is kind of just a little skirmish. On the outside, this was one of the work I had to finish, of course, on that side, is kind of getting that outside wall. I actually really like how that came out. Like, honestly, like, I was not expecting that to come out as nice as it did, so I'm pretty happy with that, like, wall design, as well as in the back, as you guys can see. Like, you know, that's kind of interesting to see, because like I mentioned, the idea of this is because, you know, this is, of course, just the hangar portion of the actual capital, because the capital, of course, would be a lot bigger. And so the idea is this is kind of like a portion of the actual capital, and so basically it would extend, and the idea is possibly that this would also extend, or just that being kind of just glanced over at the moment. So honestly, I actually do quite like how that came out. It's kind of just a addition to, like, the outside of the inner portion of the base, or inner portion of the capital, because there's a lot of white and black and kind of gray mixed into it. So really like how that ended up coming out. Over here, this is something that I was actually really happy about, which was the crash pillar or platform. Basically, I stated that I was wanting to have one of these platforms kind of just crashing, falling into the water, and I actually quite like it. I quite like the little edges right there. I've got some debris kind of floating in the water. I've got General Grievous climbing with crates falling down, and Obi-Wan sliding right into the water, with, of course, the Brick Stuff lightsaber that lights up. Really happy with how that came out. Honestly, I do like how it came out. I was trying to figure out how to do rubble and stuff like that, so I did it as best as I could. I do also want to point out, if you guys are wondering about the whole wave situation, basically how I went about doing the waves is around all the pillars. I made sure that, you know, they had little ripples and water and stuff like that. Throughout the rest of the base plates, I kind of have just little waves and ripples and stuff like that. Basically, the idea is, for one, during the episode of Clone Wars, it's kind of calm, not really stormy or anything like that, which is kind of surprising, because that's what Kamino is specialized for, is all those storms and whatnot. But honestly, I feel like it's completely fine. It's kind of just one of those, I guess, nitpicky things, because, like, I spent a lot of money on the water as it is, and just taking the extra week or so just to buy another 500 1x2 plates in trans blue, As fun as that sounds, you know, I feel like the waves aren't really the thing you're focusing on. I think the whole battle, of course, is what you're going to be appealing to. Now, of course, moving on to the center, or I guess the main piece right here, we have the actual hangar, or the inside of the base or capital, and it just looks so freaking fantastic. I love how this came out, all the lights, all the different action poses. You got all the different clones barricaded, trying to take out as many droids as they possibly can. Right here, moving to this side, you have Captain Rex and Anakin Skywalker next to Commander Cody, just trying to fight down as many droids down. You got Clone Trooper 5s in his Phase 1 armor. Really happy I was able to get that figure. Kind of disappointed I wasn't able to find a Echo in the Phase 1 variant, but honestly I think that's perfectly fine. You got all these clones kind of just clashing with the battle droids. All these lights shining on the nice gray or dark bluish gray plates and stuff like that. It just looks so freaking fantastic. Again, this is probably one of my favorite angles right here. Kind of just looking over that. Honestly, it's just one of my favorite viewings. Again, in that portion right there, you've got some clones built up trying to attack the droids. Got the lights from the hallway. Got a crate with another clone hiding behind it. I do want to point out or shout out my friend Marfan for actually designing the crates. He was a huge help in that regard. And, you know, just shout out to my man for building some cool crates, kind of having around. Moving on, you of course have this nice looking hallway, which I really like how it came out. I basically took a look at like some of the artwork from the Clone Wars, as well as some behind the scenes from Battlefront 2, went on a couple matches, took some pictures and whatnot, and honestly really like how, like, honestly I love this like pan over and whatnot. You got the lights shining, you got the clones like shadows on the actual tiles, so it looks great. This top portion, I guess, this is kind of how I went about it. For the inside, you had this really nice white curving with a black line in through it. On the outside, which is of course the hangar, I basically ended up having like kind of this pipeline just going around and whatnot, kind of giving it that like, oh, hangar inside, and not trying to copy this outside. I do like this kind of transition into gray right there though. In here, of course, you do have the little skirmish that's going on in here. Really like how this came out. You've got the nice clone troopers battling against the droids, and of course that does lead to the kind of final room of the inside. I'm gonna have to, you know, be very careful when I'm moving this because it's kind of difficult, but of course it is the fan appreciation room. Now it is kind of difficult getting better shots from this, and of course I will have kind of better shots when I do the cinematic overview of the mock. And honestly, I really am happy how this came out. If you guys got your sig figs in the mock, I did get plenty of requests, and I did my best to get as many as I possibly could. If your figure is in this build or in this fan room, shout out to you for being an awesome person and getting into the mock. We of course do have the lineup of the boyos right here. We have Jay, Matt, David in his 501st armor, me right behind it, and of course Garrett, Bricks, or Gertie kind of dancing against with Ula. So with that being said, I love how this mock came out. I'm really proud of what I was able to accomplish with this, especially for being my second large build. First one of course being the Battle of Hoth, and the second one of course being the Battle of Kamino. So I'm so happy right now because of the fact that just having this complete, having a full complete mock is just something, I don't know, it's something great that gets me happy and excited and whatnot. So I do want to clear up a few things real quick. If you are curious, will this mock will be attending any conventions this year if they, you know, still eventually happen? The answer is yes. I've been trying to keep tabs on Chicago and Virginia. That's the plan, to take this mock to both of those conventions. Hopefully everything seems to be going fine. Luckily, nothing bad has happened or hasn't been canceled or rescheduled and whatnot. So I do plan on taking this mock to both Brickworld Chicago and Brick Fair Virginia. So if you guys are going to be at either of those conventions, you guys will hopefully get a chance to see this mock in person. Also want to point out, as you guys may have noticed, I do have some Easter eggs kind of floating around in the mock, including the mini kits, something that I specifically wanted to make sure ended up having in this mock because of the fact that, you know, that's something I did with Hoth, and that's something I want to continue with the rest of my mocks. So if you guys were able to find all 10 mini kits in this mock, huge shout out to you guys because of the fact that, you know, I had a fun time kind of hiding these things. So if you found all 10, shout out to you. So with that being said, I think that's going to be it for this episode or finale. Huge thank you guys again. So with that being said, let's get out to the final thoughts of the video. Okay guys, so that was the finale of building Kamino. I can't get my head around actually saying that because I've been working on this for so long. So I really, guys, I can't thank you enough for all the support you guys have given for the mock and the channel. I really can't thank you guys enough. From the bottom of my heart, I really love you guys, as well as I can't wait to see what you guys think of the mock. I can't wait to see the comments and whatnot. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of the final look of the mock. I do want to quickly point out that next week, I think I'm going to release it on Friday night. I'm going to have the cinematic showcase of the actual mock, so you guys get to see the really epic pictures, you get to see the get to listen to some awesome music, you guys get to see just some really cinematic shots of the actual mock and have a good time. So huge thank you guys for all the support you guys have given me, and I think that's pretty much going to be it. Again, stay tuned for the official mock announcements, because I do have something that I want to actually shout out before I end off the video. I just realized. So I do have a special thing, because as you guys know, I'm about to hit 1,000 subscribers, which is a huge milestone in my opinion. Honestly, I was planning on doing a special thing for that, and the idea was I was going to release the official mock, or the next mock. A lot of you guys have been wondering what I was going to be doing next with Kamino, because it was coming to a close, and I have fully decided. I've known about it for a few months now, and I've had something in the works for some time to kind of give a really special thing. So the plan is, once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be doing an announcement video showcasing or letting you guys know, and you guys get to see what I'll be doing next. So huge, you know, again, huge thank you guys. If you enjoyed, definitely show some love by smashing the like button. Again, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, and if you're new to this channel, definitely subscribe, especially if you want to get or find out what the next build series is going to be. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.